Tyler, thanks. Now, more information on how to get prepared in the event of this storm.
Let's face it, most of us are out of practice after a decade without a hurricane landfall here, so now is a good time to make sure your plans and preps are up to date. Jason Hackett live on West Palm Beach, where one community is making sure it is prepared. Jason.
Residents tell me the last time a major storm blew here through Pineapple Park near Dock Street was 2004. That's when Francis and Jean came through. They tell me the floodwater around here was as high as 5 feet. Now, if you can imagine, I'm about 5'10", so the waters came up to about here. The resident here tells me that his house looked like a pontoon boat. Now, since then, there hasn't been much major flooding, but after 2004, around here, they're taking nothing for granted. It's your fairly typical neighborhood block.
We are a community that all knows each other, and we watch out for each other.
With a flooding problem that is far from normal. If it does come through and it does dump a lot of rain here,
I will be out of here.
This neighborhood would also be in a lot of trouble.
Correct.
Kevin Ryan says as Erica sets its sights on South Florida, the issue is not the canal that runs behind the block. He says water management handles that well. It's the street itself.
What happens is we flood from the front of our houses back. So if you wait too long on this end of the street, you can't get out because the street floods.
It's a problem he and his fellow neighbors have learned to adjust to. When heavy rains come through, they usually take matters into their own hands to make sure the water flows properly.
We'll clear the one drain that the city put in down toward Parker just to make sure that the water will flow.
In fact, they spent this past weekend clearing debris on the street to make sure it doesn't flow to the drain if the storm hits. Kevin makes it clear that he and his neighbors don't blame the city. In fact, he says things have gotten better since 2004.
On any given day, you can see the city workers here. They come and they watch all of the water flow.
It's a reality they've accepted for years, and now, as they've done in years past, all eyes on this block will be on the tropics.
Right now, I do not want to dig a grave in anticipation of something horrible happening. I'm going to watch, pay attention.
So if that storm or any storm comes through here, Kevin says depending on how bad things get, he'll allow his neighbors here to park on his property, which sits on higher ground, to keep their cars out of the water. But if things get bad enough, then many of the people around here will be forced to leave the area. Live tonight, Jason Hackett, WPTV News Channel 5.